Hey everyone, my name is Phil,
I'm Erika.
and today we're watching The Chosen, Season 4, Episode 7. Let's dive in.
Oh,
What?
sorry. I thought the cold open was the donkey.
Oh,
I was like, ooh, into the future. It's not Judas, right?
that's what I was thinking too. I'm like,
I know the money thing.
yeah.
No, that's not Judas's body.
This
Is it that other guy? That spy?
Atticus?
He looks more like.
I thought I saw his beard.
Oh. I wouldn't put it past him to be looking like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think so. Oh,
Who are you?
Oh,
wow. We were both very wrong. So this is into the future.
For
Yeah.
heaven's sake, why the hood?
he had the beard and that
You
flash
should have
forward
sent word.
before.
I could.
So we would be prepared.
Mary. Mary. I hope this isn't an inconvenient time.
Can you imagine the history you have
Oh, you're going through all of
following Jesus?
that to be like separated like
Believe
this.
you came all this way, Matthew. Mary. I finished.
The book?
I couldn't risk sending it by courier. I wanted you to be the first one to read it. Please.
Wow.
To hear your thoughts. I have to be here for it.
Wow.
This will be a treasure for all time.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
That. I'm afraid I have some bad news.
I've gotten used to that.
This I could have sent word of, but I thought since I was coming here to see you, I would tell you in person.
Who is it?
Peter?
Little James.
Oh.
This episode, I'll just say this.
How did it happen? Where?
Mary, if you
No, I
don't.
want to know. I can handle it. Tell me.
Was he murdered?
Lower Egypt. King Hyrcanus had him run through with a spear. Paul's been sending letters to the church there.
They should be safe there.
Wow.
I'll send a letter to Onya.
I want to see how they meet Paul.
Who did Paul? Who's he a disciple?
What would
Not
you say to
disciple,
her?
but like
Wait, hold on.
He's not suffering anymore.
Oh.
He was in pain his entire life. He so rarely complained. I'm going to stay up all night and read your manuscript. I want to relive it all.
He can't leave it there, right?
Even the
he said that
Oh,
he's gonna
that's
stay. He wants to
Right.
see her reaction.
I write letters there.
I apologize. I don't mean to pry. I just noticed as I passed by, those scraps don't look like letters.
Matthew, let me read your volume. Don't busy yourself with my scribblings.
I am sure they're more substantial than scribblings.
Why are we talking about this?
Parchment is expensive. You live in a cave on the mountainside far from merchants or civilization. No one in your position or mine wastes paper.
She's writing her accounts too.
It's true. I've been having dreams lately about some of the darker times. I wanted to write them down so I don't forget. Trying to assemble them into something. Perhaps I can share them with you. My oldest friend.
So we come back to that? I hope. I'm like,
Season 7.
it's like, what does she write?
Is that something that exists?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. If there are compilations of,
I'm sure other
I don't
people have written
know.
things.
yeah, for sure, Anyways, Paul was Saul. He was the one that was...
Yeah, no, I remember, but like, he just wasn't part of the 12.
No, definitely not. He was trying to kill the 12.
Yeah. So didn't he, like, apostle, like, wasn't he, like, a following
Yeah.
or under somebody, like one of the apostles? Like, following them
don't know.
closely as a teacher?
I don't know. I just understood it as like whatever the transformation from Damascus, and then I think he just was like, I want to be a part of this mission too. And just start preaching like nobody has preached before.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, walking sticks.
Thank you, Z.
Oh, I thought Zeb was...
For you, for the journey today, will be stronger than the one you had before. You fought bravely yesterday when they came to arrest him. Didn't even hesitate. We were never going to let that happen.
Do I get a walking stick?
Are you badly injured?
You're good, bro. Look at these veins.
This isn't a day for troubles.
Remains to be seen. We'll either sit Shiva or we won't.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is everyone checked out of their rooms?
So, what did you mean
It's nice to see Jesus carrying it.
Yeah, for sure.
going to Lazarus?
I said what I said.
That we may die with him?
If we go back into Judea and they kill us, like they tried to yesterday,
Oh, wow. He literally meant...
then that is God's will. And if it's God's will for us to die with Jesus, at least I won't have to feel anything anymore.
That's what I thought you meant. In the final words of the last book of Moses, God says that if it is between life and death, blessing and curse, we should choose life.
I wonder what that means when one doesn't have the choice.
I'm just saying you should hope to live. We are in the middle of remarkably unusual circumstances.
No, John. This isn't an unusual circumstance. We have been forced to accept that death is a part of life. Water?
I'm good.
No way, I
nobody's talking
don't
about-
disagree.
Yeah.
Did I say something about Jairus' daughter?
Keep your voice low.
Yes, you did, sir.
I did. Maybe it doesn't matter now. Lazarus
Yeah.
is dead. Jesus said he's going to wake him, and we both know what that means.
What that can mean.
Has something gone wrong?
I believe it has, Judas. Lazarus is
Oh.
dead. That's what I mean. We're on the way to our third Shiva in less than a year. He's the Messiah. Shouldn't we be winning, not losing constantly? Stumbling around in sackcloth and ashes all the time.
Only Jesus knows what true glory looks like.
It certainly can't be this.
Perhaps. We'll sit Shiva or we won't. Weren't you the one who read the letter saying Lazarus is dead?
Yes. But then there's what Jesus said after.
Ooh.
Awaken. Then there's this line. Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Sleep and death. Sometimes they're used interchangeably. You know, before we went on our missions, I asked Jesus about the irony of giving me the ability to heal others while still bearing the burden of my limp. He explained some of it, and it was beautiful. That doesn't mean that I'm not still in pain. The pangs were already getting steadily worse even before what happened yesterday. If Jesus wakes Lazarus from his sleep, won't that just present even bigger questions than the one that I've wrestled with?
Of course it will. And we'll deal with them then. There's no use agonizing about it now.
Is all of this what you expected?
Oh, little James, I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody, but Being lost to myself all those years means that I never expected anything.
Yeah.
Even the daylight felt dark. With only these rare moments where flecks of light would shine through. Ever since he called my name, everything has been light.
Wow.
More or less. But the occasional moments of darkness that hurt just as much as before, only now they're the exception and not the rule. I've had so much practice with grief. Now I'm just grateful.
Wow.
I wish that my own torment would grant me the same level of acceptance and wisdom that you found.
I still have a long way to go.
Wow.
And you have grown.
None of us could have dreamed where all of this was headed.
We still can't.
Still.
This is so good.
What?
Just them exploring the feelings of each of the disciples about this. But we just
Yeah.
thought that this was a sign. It was like, but
Yeah.
how it made them feel. And
Yeah.
it's just such a real struggle. Yeah.
Even like that conversation about their faith and where they came from and how it impacts their faith for Jesus and the future and what he can do.
Zion and Jerusalem. This earth is a worse place without him. He was taken from us far too soon.
There it is.
Golden age of construction in the holy city has ended with the death of Lazarus. Truly, there was no greater ironsmith in all of the land.
He was like family.
Oh my
The
gosh.
beloved
He's
family of
gonna
sons.
He's gonna witness what Jesus can do, and then he's gonna believe
With
Yusuf.
Yusuf, yeah.
Is everything in order?
As you would expect from Lazarus. Martha, you and your sister will be well taken care of. His property, assets, and all the money will pass directly to you. With a special clause that the resources be used in part to include the ongoing protection and care of one Mary, daughter of Joachim of Nazareth.
Lazarus never said anything.
Why does it not surprise me that Lazarus is friends with people from Nazareth?
He was never elitist.
Wow.
Well, I apologize, sisters. I meant no disrespect by that.
Come in. There is some in the safe in the back of the office.
We do this later.
I know.
Certainly. If you need anything in the short term,
Oh gosh.
there is a group approaching Bethany to see Lazarus.
How many?
He said over 10. Coming from the Jordan. He said tell her
Jesus.
he is coming.
Let me start baking bread. Oh yeah, she gets pissed, right?
Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.
Martha.
I'm trying not to be angry. You didn't.
You guys are Thomas
sooner,
right
Lord.
now.
But even now I know. Whatever you ask from God, God will give you,
My
Wow.
child.
right? Whatever it is to give us hope or relief.
Your brother will rise again.
I know he will rise again with all of us in the resurrection at the end of the age.
That's not the resurrection I'm talking about.
Oh gosh.
I am the life that overcomes death.
I don't understand.
I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?
I believe you are the Christ, the Son of God who is coming into the world. I believe.
Now that I'm here, physical death does not interrupt our eternal life.
I believe you're the Christ. That I know.
I don't know if I like this.
Quickly, go and get your sister.
The storyline has been like problematic, right? This has been like the most controversial part of
I
the chosen so
know.
far.
Oh, Thomas.
Are we supposed to be understanding what you are saying?
See, he's so clear as day, and they still don't understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm wondering the same thing.
because they also have the context of Thomas, right? That's
I
why
know.
they need him to be crystal
I
clear.
suppose.
I mean, oh, I don't like this.
Jeez.
Like, usually a scene
I
like
don't trust my
what?
hearing, John. And I'm
Yeah.
too afraid to confirm what I thought I just heard. I'm okay. For now.
Yeah. Wait.
He is here and is calling for you.
Me? Now. He's here.
What are you talking about? I do not know.
Who is he?
She ought
Let's
not
go.
be alone.
Yeah, let's all go.
Here we go.
If you were here,
Oh.
my brother would not have died. We said the word. Why didn't you come? Why did you wait? Why?
I will show you why. Where have you laid him?
Lord, come and see.
Wow.
Just the way of. It's like he knows what everybody is expecting.
Well, this is the part of the trailer that we saw.
Yeah. Shortest verse in the Bible?
Hmm?
Shortest
The
verse in the
shortest.
Bible?
Who is this man? Is he friend of Lazarus? Is he family?
I've never seen him. What is happening? What did he mean?
Oh. He knows what's gonna happen.
He's healed countless sick people. He's opened the eyes of the blind. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus
Stay
alive?
calm.
He's
Okay.
weeping.
And what are you going to do about it, huh?
Is he mad at us?
Both of you, stop asking questions.
Is he mad at us?
Come on, brother.
Sis,
Yeah.
take away the stone.
By this time, there will be an odor.
Smell.
He's been dead for 4 days.
Martha, surely you know that is a minor matter. Did I not tell you that if you believed, you will see the glory of God?
Thomas.
I know. Thomas believed like this.
Is faith. I say to you again, remove the stone.
Oh, Peter. This can't just be show muscles.
I know.
You gotta use them.
Now's the time, Peter.
Oh, is that this there?
Yeah, wow. He just says it, right?
Lazarus come out or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Father,
I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me. But I said this on account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me.
Sent? What is he doing?
Oh.
Us last night, you don't remember?
He said so that we and many others might believe in him. We already believe in him.
Not everyone for everything.
Right.
Lazarus! Come out!
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, that's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaky.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, brother. I'm here.
What has happened? Am I dreaming?
This is no dream. You just woke up.
I was asleep.
I wonder what his experience was. Like, does he remember dying?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What a perfect. Wait, oh.
Oh.
It's real. The stories of Jesus of Nazareth are true.
Wow.
Nazareth.
Oh.
I have to go back to Jerusalem.
He recognizes.
Nazareth.
You know who that is?
I've heard his name before.
I have to go back. Right now.
But why now? We have to find out what happened.
I think it's clear what just happened.
Yeah, but how?
Why aren't you telling people not to share this? Why did you do this in front of so many?
Because it's time, Big James.
Oh.
You'll understand.
See, Judas?
This is everything. Don't you see? This miracle will bring everyone together.
Oh, God.
Now no one can deny him.
Wow. Oh.
Thomas, it's all right. You'll be all right. It's all right. Yeah. What have you done? Thomas, please, we'll talk.
When? Soon? I am tired of all this soon talk.
Thomas, don't. Not here.
Yes, right here. Rabbi, look me in my eyes. Why him and not Rema? Why not your own cousin John? It's sick.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need to have a word with him immediately.
Rabbi has things to attend to. Please, please.
I don't expect you to understand now. I don't. What the Father allows. What I allow. In order to bring about my Father's will. In the faith and growth of his church. It can be crushing for you. And yes, even for me.
It's too much. It's too
much. I don't understand.
I know, and that hurts my heart. But please, please stay with me, Thomas.
That's what Rena said.
And you'll understand in time.
What you just did, the miracle, it made the Sadducee very upset.
Good. The Sadducee has already left for Jerusalem. I know his kind. He will make trouble.
I imagine he will.
And you don't care.
I do care. It's why I did this.
What do you think this is about?
No, they used to be her. Like in the darkness and dead.
Just the representation of new life? Representation of like new life?
Yeah.
How are we doing?
He still has the click in his knee.
Yes, we are grateful, but we do have some ideas for next time. Oh, okay.
That's funny.
Everybody gets one.
May I have a moment alone with Lazarus?
What are we going to say? No?
They did this all the while? Oh,
Maybe
I
this
guess
the
it was for
dinner.
Shiva.
I wish there was some way we could repay him.
What do you give to someone who can raise the dead?
Well, surely he doesn't need anything.
There we go.
That's the whole point.
So, feeling better?
What is that?
The safe key? Or the key?
You certainly look better.
Thank you.
You gonna give to his ministry?
Maybe. Right when Joanna's gift was running out.
Oh, that's so good.
Why did you do it?
I should have anticipated you'd have questions.
I'm serious. Why me?
It was not so much who
Yeah, the timing.
as when. I'm glad it was you. Of course.
I don't understand.
I'm out of time, Laz. This was the last. I have a confession.
You have done no wrong.
Not a confession of sin, but something to acknowledge you don't know.
Certainly there is no depth to that.
Your sisters, they sent word of your illness to our lodgings in Perea before the end of the feast.
I told them not to do that.
Even so, a time has come. What they tried yesterday, they will soon succeed in doing.
That was just yesterday.
The stoning or the arrest.
Yeah.
You will see.
Oh my gosh, look, he's tearing up.
Don't do that to me again.
Lazarus,
I know.
please. Just listen. The waiting, the 4 days that your sisters grieved and suffered, I need you to know it was not out of cruelty.
I would never think that of you.
But so that the glory of my Father might be revealed to all in what happened today. It was painful for me to watch those of you who suffered through this. But there are those for whom this will set off a series of events.
Has it not been that way with the religious leaders since the beginning?
This is different. They now have firmer grounds for punishment. They're men. They must save face.
You have become undeniable.
I can't have that. And my followers will not understand. I have told them 3 times. It's as if they're incapable of hearing it.
I myself feel incapable of hearing it.
Oh.
Even
You
after
too?
what happened today?
I'm human.
So am I.
But my friend, you are the Son of God.
Wow.
So I don't understand.
Most won't. To be frustrated is human. And I'm frustrated that my students are constantly missing it. That they're forgetting what I've done. And I'm angry.
Oh, gosh.
How the religious leaders twist the faith into a craven theater of pretense. I dread what is to come. The cup I must drink to fulfill my father's will. You're scaring me. You've been to the grave. And you're afraid.
For you. I love you. I do not want to see you suffer.
The Son of Man must suffer many things.
No. I can't hear this.
The prophet Isaiah gave you many warnings.
Piecing it together.
A man of sorrows. Acquainted
with grief.
That's what Mary said too.
They were just
We're acquainted with grief.
words on a scroll.
Hmm.
Now that they are about you, flesh and blood, it's another story.
Calm down. I'm tired of you telling me to trust him. I'm not going to.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Here we go.
All of you saw what he did out there.
He cannot accept my love or words tonight. His brothers will carry him.
Wow.
Come. Let's get you something to eat.
So interesting. Just like that God's wisdom of timing is like, there's no point.
Wait, no, Thomas, stop! We'll have to replace that.
Yeah, Matthew? Why? Because when Lazarus loses something, he deserves to have it restored. And when other people lose things, they just...
the polite thing to do. The polite thing to do is not break the jar in the first place.
I am done with
Okay.
polite. I am done with all of it.
You don't mean that.
Then tell me what I mean, Andrew.
You're hurting. We get it.
No, you don't. If you did, you'd be as offended as I am.
Thomas, there is no use putting suffering on a scale and weighing it.
What happened today should make us all more united than ever. We need to set aside our personal grievances and prepare for things to change in a big way.
Wait! He doesn't mean you.
He didn't say that. Don't worry. Let's just take a moment, all right?
I hate what he's going through. I do. Think about what happened today. Dozens of mourners saw it with their own eyes. The religious leaders, they'll finally have to admit who he truly is. And they'll work with him to unify us against our oppressors. This is one of the greatest days in the history of our people.
I agree.
That's very optimistic.
The
Yeah.
Jerusalem religious leaders don't like it when anyone is more powerful than them, Judas.
Why didn't Jesus to speak healing from a distance the way he did for Gaius' son?
He wanted us to see.
Yeah.
To see the stone rolled away. To see Lazarus walk out of the tomb with burial strips.
He also wants us to participate. He could have rolled the stone and unwrapped Laz with the word too.
Told us last night, Matthew, that we might believe.
It certainly worked for me.
If Jerusalem hears this and believes, could this be the beginning of the army?
When has he said anything about an army, ever?
He threw away my dagger.
I'm sorry, but some of you are thinking too... Look, the time for restraint and modesty is past.
He has asked nothing from us but to come with him and to observe. Why are we discussing anything beyond that?
Because we could lose Thomas over this.
He told us yesterday, no one and nothing could snatch us from his hand.
Well, he said that of his true sheep. Those who hear his voice and believe. Then maybe Thomas isn't one of the true sheep?
The devil gotten into you?
How dare you?
Take it back.
Everyone, please.
I said take it back.
Natalia.
Not dishonor Jesus by acting this way.
She's right.
No, I'm sorry. Truly, No, I'm sorry, truly. That's not how I meant it. I love Thomas. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I don't...
James! James!
Gosh.
James! Are
you all right?
I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine.
His pain was already getting worse before the attack.
Thomas has a point. Why
Oh,
everyone and everything else, but not little James?
I don't want to talk about me tonight, okay? I think we just need to listen to what Peter said and get some rest.
What about? I'll stay with him until it passes.
I just need a few minutes.
Go ahead. We'll be up.
Nathaniel.
Peter and I can collect John and Thomas. Adonai in heaven knows we'll take all three of us.
I guess you got your answer.
What?
We won't sit Shiva.
Not tonight.
Oh.
I still feel grief.
I feel it too.
I think that's because Judas was right. This was his biggest public sign yet.
We no longer have to wonder or guess about when soon will be. Darkness is not the absence of light. That would be too simple. It's more uncontrollable and sinister. Not a place, but the void. I was there once. And although I could not see or hear you, you were there. Waiting. Because the darkness is not dark to you.
Wow.
At least, it's not always. You wept. Not because your friend was dead, but because soon you would be.
Thought about that.
And because we couldn't understand it. Or didn't want to, or both. One had to come before the other. It was always that way with you.
Wow.
It still is. Tears fell from your eyes, and then ours. I go back to that place sometimes. Or rather, it comes back to me, uninvited. The night that was eternal. But somehow the bitter remained in the sweet and has never gone away. You told us it would be like that. Not with your words, but with how you lived. The man of sorrows. Acquainted with grief. That grief wasn't what we wanted to see. But soon, we couldn't hide from it any more than we could stop the sun from setting.
Wow.
Or rising. I remember you wishing there could be another way. And looking back, I do too. I still don't know why it has to be this way. The bitter often mingled with the sweet. Maybe I never will. At least, not this side of.
Oh, this episode was very poetic.
Wow. Huh.
Okay.
This was at the beginning of this episode. This scene. at the beginning of the episode.
Sorry, babe.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Where do you want to start here?
Well, should I just go with the obvious? Lazarus?
Yeah, start there. I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Obviously I understand why they did what they did, but I think just as a standalone for this scene and this sign, and I don't know, in my mind when reading it and how I've always read it was like such a glorious time, right? Like something so worthy of rejoicing. But here it was like just so tainted with a worry for how people are gonna take it. And maybe that's actually how it was, because obviously like that was the last sign, so Jesus is obviously very anxious going into this. And I just never considered how it would make the disciples feel. Like I just thought Judas's reaction would be everybody's reaction. And I love that they made it Judas who had that reaction. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for everyone else to be worried, because there's always been that contrast, right, between Judas and his understanding and with the rest of the disciples and their understanding and their faith in Jesus. And now this is something that Judas is excited about, but in contrast with the rest of them feel.
It's the exact same thing. It's just
it's just flipped. But in my mind, I just thought it was everybody would be rejoicing. But that says a lot that the disciples are not excited because they know it means what's to come. I don't know. I just it was a hard watch, and I just felt that just in my mind it was never that. So this is just like really tough, because I thought I would feel happy about this.
And that what you're talking about there, about how like things were tainted by just how everyone was feeling. That's
like the storyline.
Yeah, that's what I was talking.
They put in the storyline with Thomas.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about when they were all walking to Bethany, and I was like, oh, this is great. I was talking mainly about how it's what this show does in terms of like, it's not often that we think about what the disciples were feeling.
Yeah.
Like we look at the signs and wonders, we look at the passion, but we never look at it from their perspective, and that's what this show is all about, right? And to show the very things that like the people who are watching it are questioning. They're like, there's no way little James would be okay with all of this, and like is seeing like all those kinds of things. There's like, how is Thomas going to be all right with that? There has to be some huge confrontation, and for those things to actually be happening and to be at the forefront of people's minds in the middle of all of this, that's such a human thing, right? That's probably what's consumed the conversation and debate around this show for most of this season. It's like, how are these people actually feeling? And I love that. Like, that's what I was talking about, how it's so great, because those are very real emotions and struggling, like difficult kind of conversations to have. And it's just really nice to see that they don't shy away from it, because even away from this story, again, like this is something that Christians just struggle with, right? Like these types of questions. So it's good to see how the disciples handled it, and I think they really are pouring it on over the last couple episodes, or maybe just the season in general. Just how much they're not understanding of what Jesus is putting down, like what he's saying. Jesus is underlining it, and they're still kind of confused by it. Like that scene in the courtyard is like a great way to leave off with the disciples. They're kind of fractured in what they're thinking, and they're leaving conversations more confused than before. Some people know more things than others. It's just kind of yeah. I don't know.
I think that shows too in the Bible, like how I read it after his death. The disciples were fractured in that. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, they like totally forgot the resurrection piece that Jesus has been saying all along. But like, I love that they even showed that conversation with Lazarus.
Yeah.
That even Lazarus doesn't want to believe it. Like, the whole like incapable. Sorry, that's like a whole other conversation.
Yeah. But like his is different though. I feel like that's different from what the disciples are feeling. Because I think he's saying it from a place of understanding. It's like the incapable of, like the not wanting to believe it is different from not understanding it. Like I feel like he knows what Jesus is saying and he's just in grief by it. Like he doesn't want to see him suffer. Like he was saying those words.
I think that's the same thing with the disciples though. They don't want to see Jesus suffer either.
But they're also extremely confused about what's actually going to happen next.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean,
Like I think Laz understands it. There's a difference between that last group that was in the courtyard, Little James, Thaddeus, and Mary.
They know.
They know, and like right before they went to Jerusalem, remember they had that moment with Jesus, and they're like,
"Yep,
like
it's coming."
Yeah, they understand what's going on. So,
yeah.
And that's what I meant. Like, there's different levels of understanding even within the group, and people are holding on to information more than others, which is weird to me. But I guess that's just humans.
Yeah, I think everyone brings their own experience. There's so many various factors, I think, that go into someone's belief in what's to come or what's not to come. But I do want to be clear, though, that, like, how they did it, even though I hate to see it being done that way, is not a critique on the show or, like, criticism on the show. I think, like you said, like, it's necessary. I think what makes it hard is because life is hard. It's like, I know life is hard. Like, people go through this. And I think that's what's tough is, like, you see other people healed and other people
Which part
that
are you
not
talking
healed
about
in your life.
specifically? Like,
Oh, like how people were just, like, very upset that there's this added storyline with Thomas and Rema
okay.
and all that.
Yeah.
That, like, because it...
Like, that's not my Jesus, and that kind of thing.
No, just that, like, how I envision this miracle done was like such a time of rejoicing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But watching it now, like, that was not my experience at all.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's rejoicing, but like, what I thought about more was like the pain and grief that everybody was going through because of it.
Yeah.
Which, like,
and I don't think that detracts from it. Like, I think it does that. I think it complements what's happening there.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm just saying is that it was just so hard to watch, but I don't mean it as a criticism on what Dallas has done.
No.
It's just very hard to watch.
Yeah. I know that the conversation, the debate around, especially the Thomas and Rema piece, is like, that's not the representation of Jesus that I know. But if there was a request from Thomas, he would do it. Right, like that kind of thing, and this is like a manifestation of that. It's like because of this, right? Like because of this kind of moment, and I'm sure this episode will cause that same kind of debate amongst people who watch The Chosen, and I understand why, but
I don't know that I've seen Jesus do exactly that in our lives.
Who died?
Heal.
No.
Heal others and not heal others.
Yeah.
Like that. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Yep, that's the Jesus I know." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I've seen that, and gone through both sides of the grief and the rejoicing." And it's hard. It's hard. Like, like. I think that's why I appreciate this, is because that's real.
Yeah, even down to the response from Thomas that we were all kind of anticipating.
Like, what's he gonna say?
And it's like, you may not understand. and in time you will.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it can be so deflating. Like, I understand, and I like that wasn't enough for him as a response. I like that because
that's true.
right, and
that's hard to hear.
That's I love that they didn't just be like, oh, okay,
yeah.
good. Like, I think that would be an amazing faith, and I think that would be great. And I'm sure there are people on this earth that can do that. But
for sure,
to hear that is painful.
Yeah,
and I love that they don't shy away from that. And they show that representation.
Yeah. This show does the hard things for sure.
Yeah, because that is what a faith journey is, right? It's like the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and something like a lifeline that is just keeping you going, right? And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to put it, but it's so good that they included that, and without this Reyna storyline, they don't have the opportunity to go into that.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have the opportunity to show this very real experience, this very real like life experience, but also like in particular Christian experience.
Yeah.
Where people are healed and some people are not. And just the confusion and the frustration of just hearing that's, like it's a mystery.
Yeah.
And that is just like, it's so unsatisfying.
I know.
Right?
I know.
But yeah, so I thought that was really great. And I like that they gave, like Jesus wept. Like I like that they gave it so much depth.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's tons.
But I wonder if that, like, now I'm questioning, like, maybe there was more depth to that even in the Bible. Just like in the context when you read Jesus wept, people are like, oh, that's when Lazarus died.
Well, there's so many messages about this, right? So many sermons have been taught about those two words. About like why did that happen? And then just like people talking about like why does God allow death? And like there's so many like messages that I've heard on my own just on that. And not once in my mind did it ever cross, never once did it cross my mind that it was an added part of that was the fact that he knows what his followers are feeling in this moment.
Like this is the oh yeah.
Right, like this experience right now of they have wants and needs that I can't fulfill, but I have to do this because the timing is now. Because I feel like that pressure, like when he was looking around and seeing their faces, he knows that that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So not only is there this grief, and not only is this the realization that this is going to happen to me too, but my followers aren't going to understand, and it's going to be heartbreaking for them. Right. So just like that added layer of it was, like I really appreciated that, because like what are the different teachings you've heard about this, about like Jesus crying because of Lazarus?
Yeah, that, and just that he was human, that he had compassion, more about like his character, I think, and his humanness, more than anything, but not really given, like in terms of the context. Usually it's about Lazarus, not about how he's feeling about the disciples, or about his anxiety about like, this is the last sign, now I'm gonna go through what I have to go through.
Yeah, like what Mary
all that
said, right?
together.
Yeah, right. Exact same thing on my side, right? It's always about that. It's just like a way to connect with us and let us know that he is sad by it too. He hates death too, right?
Yeah.
That's why he's here to conquer death, right? And it's just, and that was like always the story, and it's still a part of the story here, like the way that it's being told. But just to have that added piece, it does add quite a bit for me. Yeah. What else happened?
There's a lot, but I can't think of it right now. I feel like there was more surrounding Lazarus's death. I think the part that was like so painful too was like when he was telling Martha, like, just have faith, like they were doubting, like, Jesus, like, if we open the tomb, like, he's fully said he's gonna wake him up, so they know they're gonna resurrect him. But even when he said, like, oh, like, whatever, open the tomb, they're like, Are you sure? There's like still some hesitance there, but like, and he was talking about like have faith, like he's preaching about having faith, and I just thought about Thomas being like, he had all the freaking faith in the world.
Immediately,
Yeah.
like, Rabbi, you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, ah. But then I love that he clarified after that it's not about who, it was about when, and it just so happened to be his homeboy. What a like, such a horrible setup for Thomas.
And no, but also
The
like
worst.
I think he knows. Like I think that's also going back to him like looking around and crying. It's like,
oh gosh, they're gonna think I did this because he's my boy.
Like it's also just kind of like it's such a
Yeah, that's hard.
you know.
Yeah, and the man of many sorrows.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, like to know what Jesus is carrying, what he had to carry on this earth, being sinless. Like
That moment was so good.
which one?
It's so wild that a moment as big as resurrection, like captured on like in this TV show, the Lazarus of it all was like the last thing I was paying attention to. Because of like how they filmed it, all the like extra storylines, like how they would film each disciple just kind of like glancing over at Thomas, not even like showing Thomas, but like that he's in that direction, and that they're like checking in, like that kind of and like just like the glances and the looks that he had when he's like, what is he doing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like I felt maybe like a little ways about like, is this detracting from like
the miracle?
How great this miracle is. But regardless, he gets raised from the dead. So it's like, it's a great miracle regardless. But yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it was. Like maybe it was surrounded by like this hardship. Like
yeah.
Okay.
Did they? I don't think they really touched on the knowledge that Seb shared, right?
No, not really. Well, I mean, he told them, right?
He told
told the brothers.
The brothers, but
they didn't show
really,
the brothers saying anything.
And it's not like it changed much.
No.
Like in their conversations or anything like that. So.
If anything, it was like, yeah, we know, or like it's about to happen. Even like when Joseph's dad went to Jesus saying like, this is gonna happen, and Jesus was like, accept it. Like he already knows what's gonna happen. And like, I love what they said, like, you don't care. He's like, I do care. That's why I did it. Just like the level of that's like ultimate submission, right? It's like, you know what's gonna happen, but you're doing the hard stuff anyways.
Yeah.
And people are trying to warn you, and you're just like, yeah. It's hard. Okay, I know there was a lot more to this one.
Maybe the last thing that we can try to dive into is just that courtyard scene, Judas, and even just the differing of opinions there. Because like even what Judas was saying was resonating with people. Like even like Big James near the end of it, he was like, "No, maybe this is what's happening. Maybe the army is rising finally." And like we know that Big James is obviously he's always been a fighter. He's been training, but like that little bit of doubt or confusion it's starting to creep in even more.
Yeah.
Like what just happened means.
Yeah, it was kind of like they threw out some of Jesus' teaching in that moment. It's like after a lot of what they've heard during Jesus's ministry, they went back to like army.
Which is exactly what Jesus was
Mary
lamenting
was
about
like,
with Lazarus, like right before that.
Yeah.
He's like, they don't get it, and they won't.
Yeah.
Right.
And like Mary, right, being like, when did he ever mention an army? Like people are just going off, like just taking the resurrection for what it is and totally forget. Because I guess Judas wasn't really around for a lot of his ministry. Like he came much later. But I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that scene. Like, I think all of it was very valid, and I understand where everyone's coming from. That like, you know, you have Mary's level of faith based on where she came from and how she was saved, versus everyone has their own story and like a different, I don't know, like it's so complex and so much to go into to just have like a conversation about it on YouTube.
I was surprised that Peter was was it more vocal during that because of what was going on and just the theories that were being put out there and the questions that were being raised. Like people even brought up like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's
like little
fair.
James and like Thomas has a point. Little James, like why isn't he healing him? And
That's a good point.
and maybe that just speaks to what we talked about at the beginning of this, is that it's just an unsatisfying response, but that's the faith piece, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I know there's more. I feel like this episode there were like quite a few moments where I was like, oh, that's good. I want to talk about that later, but I just can't. Can't remember what they are.
I did. I remember at the beginning I cut you off.
No, it's okay. We talked about that already.
Oh, we did. Okay.
But I know there were other things, but I don't know.
I don't know if I have anything else.
Well, I guess like what about Mary's monologue?
At the end?
Yeah. What about the light in the dark? Like I was really impressed by everything that she said. And they're always like, right, it's like that imagery of like light and dark in the Bible. How like, yeah, sweet and bitter, just how it always comes together. And how I love what she said when she was like, one thing always has to happen before the other. Always? Did she say always? I don't know if I'm making that up.
But especially in the context of Jesus, right? And this story is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Right? The Lazarus resurrection had to happen before what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And she's writing this in retrospect, right? So like she kind of understands those pieces.
Yeah.
While not understanding the why of it still. Like she admit that in what she was writing. Like she's still grappling with it.
I mean, I guess it's never ending, because when you go through it, you never want to, you always question why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I guess it all comes down to faith.
Yeah. So those writings are fictional?
I don't know. I have no idea. That'd be cool though, if there were actually writings
think
from
that
Mary.
even other people wrote things down, even just like as a journal.
Yeah.
Like their own kind of must be.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, who do you think that guy is that was like listening?
Yeah.
After who?
I mean,
Someone from like the Romans,
maybe on the Roman side, because like, obviously the Sadducees and the Pharisees are covered. They were there.
Yeah. Like we recognize their garb, but we don't know who this guy is.
You think he was another one of like someone
Maybe
like
like
Atticus?
Pilate's.
Like another spy.
Maybe. Yeah, either from Pilate or Herod. I don't know. I don't know what jurisdiction they're in.
Yeah, no, I have no clue. We're obviously gonna see in the next episode. Well, maybe not obvious, but I feel like a lot of things are gonna, like the table's gonna be set.
Yeah.
For basically some of the most familiar storylines from the Bible, which are gonna be coming up.
Anything stand out to you from the Martha and Mary conversation?
I mean, nothing major. Like the fact that kind of Martha was transformed a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like there was more that they talked about that I can't remember right now.
It was mainly Mary talking.
Yeah, but after she talked about Martha not being transformed, what did that, when it ended up being the close up?
She's like, maybe that's like what could we give him?
Oh yeah, how do you repay
Person that does all
someone?
these things, and maybe that's the like how could we? Maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
I thought at some point they were going to talk about like how like he needs our hearts and he needs our faith, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then she went straight to the coins.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, I think that's what I was thinking about. Like, that's so real. Like, that's actually what got me to tithe.
When your heart changed.
No, well, okay, like I got saved and then like I was still trying to understand like the whole tithing piece, and then like I listened to this one sermon and it wasn't even about tithing. But it just got me thinking back to like when I was saved, and like of course like money isn't everything, but like it took money for me to get saved at the conference that I was at to put it together. And then it just like dawned on me, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got saved because people tithe. or people gave, you know, to this, you know, to raise money for this conference. And like, and my life was forever changed by that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the very least I can do, like if I tithe and I know that this is going towards somebody else experiencing what I experienced, or like I'm gonna be saved by Jesus, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like not even like hesitating anymore after that.
It's interesting. For me, it was a little bit more abstract. It's kind of like he wants your heart, and if your heart is in money, then surrender that. Right? It's like if you're checking your bank account all the time instead of like focusing on God, like there's something wrong in that calculus. So if you want to give him your heart, then you know.
Sorry, I'm laughing because that's so us. So
yeah,
based on like why we tie this is so telling of like our personalities and like how logical you are, and like I'm like more of like the heart person and you're more of like the logical.
A to B.
Yeah.
Very simple. Okay.
That's just so funny. Wow, that's really funny to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, I know there's so much I actually want to talk about, but it's
I think every one of our conversations is like there's a lot of stuff that we missed or that we couldn't talk about, but these videos would go on forever.
How could you? The show is so loaded. Every episode is so loaded with things that you could talk about.
Well, one great thing is that this is a really great community. If you have made it to this part of the conversation, obviously you know that like we love to talk about these kinds of things. If there's anything that we missed, or if there's anything that you know you want to continue the conversation on, throw it in the comments. Like we are obviously always in there. We respond to as many of those comments as we can and try to create those conversations. And honestly, we're trying to learn from them. Right? Like especially me, like I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about this. And your comments and this community has helped so much. So throw it in the comment section, and yeah, let's just engage and keep learning, because this is really important for me as well. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about the penultimate episode of season 4?
The what?
Penultimate.
Stop.
Open up a dictionary, please.
These big words. Penultimate.
Second last.
Oh, okay. Wow. Like I've never heard anyone use that before. Sorry, what's your question? I was so focused
Any
on
thoughts? Any other last thoughts about this episode?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, 7? Okay.
Yeah, one more.
Oh. I mean, obviously I do, but they're not there right now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Cool. Well, if we think of them, we'll throw them in the comments too. But thank you so much for watching with us. This was a heavy one. There's been a few of those this season, and I'm sure the next one will be that way too. So hopefully you enjoyed watching this one, and we will see you for the next episode. Peace.